In this video, we're going to take a look at starting to compile and package using Maven. So we're going to get into a couple of commands. And what we want to do is coming back to having the hello world example. And I've created a minimal POM, probably what the absolute minimum is for this POM to work. Let's go and take a look at that now. So the POM file is the primary file that we're going to describe our Maven builds with. And you can see that it's XML, and it brings in an XML namespace for the Maven 4.0 XSD. So that's the XML schema. So Maven is driven by this POM. We need the model version. And then this group ID, artifact ID, and version, those are called Maven coordinates. And we'll get into that more in a future lecture. So our only goal in this video is to go through and show you how to use Maven. We're going to build that hello world class into a jar. So we want to get a Java jar with that. Now, we have some properties that we're setting here. The source encoding and output encoding UTF-8, that's kind of standard stuff. The Java version, since I'm on Java 11, I'm setting that to Java 11 and then telling the Maven compiler that we're going to have the source of Java 11 and that we want the target output to also be Java 11. So this is probably the minimal POM that we could possibly do for Maven to work. And we're going to be exploring this a lot more in upcoming videos. I just want to get you guys get some hands-on using it. So let's go in and write that out. Now we can do Maven. Remember, we need to have Maven installed. So we can see here, I do have Maven set up on my machine. I can do a clear here. Now I can do Maven clean. And the clean command or goal is going to tell it to clean out the environment. Now I can also do Maven package. And don't worry, we're going to get into all the different Maven commands in upcoming videos. Now we can see that Maven compiler said there's no sources to compile, but it does go through the exercise of doing its thing and creating a jar file. So let's do ls here. Actually, let me clear the screen. Then we can do an ls. And we can see that now I have a target folder. So I cd into target. Now we can see we have a jar, and this is from the Maven coordinates. So remember, we had hello world and then the version. So Maven did that for us. And now we can come in and let's take a closer look at that jar. And I can do an unzip. So remember, jar files are just a zip file. And we can see that we have this manifest, and then Maven also included data about the build. So we're getting the POM XML in there as well. So that's everything that's in the jar. So right now we just have a manifest file. Let's take a look at the manifest file and see what they did for us. And we can see that we have a manifest and really just some comments, some basic data about saying that my user account built it and built on a Java 11 JDK, saying that it's created by Maven 3.6.0. So that's the version. We want to be on that or higher. So just some interesting stuff there. Now if I do Maven clean, and I got a build failure, and that is because I'm doing it from the target directory. So if I come back to one directory and try that again, so the command's going to look in the current directory that you're in. So now we can see that worked. And if I do an ls, we can see that the target directory is gone. So the clean command cleans up all our build artifacts. Now, what if we want to actually compile that hello world Java? What we can do is, I clear this. Now, we are going to talk about the Maven standard directory structure in an upcoming video. But for source files, Java source files, you make a directory called src, and also make a directory called src/main, and then Java. So we want source main Java, and what we want to do is move hello world Java to like so. Let's take a look at this. You can see that's no longer there, and if I do a cd, you can see that hello world is now there. And we can see the path there. So I'm working out a directory called hello3 and then source main Java, and that is where the class is now. And I want to be back at the root there. And let me do a clear here. And now we want to do Maven. And I'm also showing you how I can do a clean package. I can run multiple calls on the command line. So first it's going to go through and clean, and then it's going to go through and package it. And now we can see changes detected, recompiling the module, compiled one source file, target classes. Didn't see any tests, and we'll definitely be getting into tests coming up. And now we built that jar. And now I can cd into target. And now we can see that we have classes, generated sources, some more stuff in there. And effectively what the Maven build process is going to do is it's going to generate classes. So we can see that's the compiled artifact. And if I do an unzip on the jar now we can see that hello world class has been built into it. So this is all generated by Maven. And we see the manifest remains the same. And most of the other stuff remains the same. But the important part here is that we've gone in, moved that Java file, the source file, to source main Java. And now by default configuration of Maven, it picks up that source file and builds it into a jar for us. So let me go ahead and clear the screen now. And you can see here now I have a POM. Actually, let me do ls. So you can see that I have a POM, a source directory, and target. If I do Maven clean, that goal is going to go ahead and remove the target directory. So if I do, so now we can see that target directory has been removed. And let's revisit the POM one more time. Again, this is an XML file. This is what's driving Maven to set up. So we have the coordinates. Let me highlight that. These are called coordinates for Maven. So the group ID traditionally is reverse of your domain. And then artifact ID should be something relevant to the project. And then we will also get into versioning, and we'll go into this more in depth. And just want you to understand at this point, I'm just showing a very, very minimal POM file for Maven, just enough to compile a hello world into a jar for us. And we're going to be exploring a lot more of these properties and functionality in upcoming videos.